In this video, I'm going to show you a very realistic morning routine that will help you get the most out of your mornings. We often go through our mornings and through our days without really thinking about what's important. But why not take the time to make your mornings special? Now, the Miracle Morning Routine is based on a book written by Hal Elrod called The Miracle Morning, and it consists of 6 practices that you do every morning, a ritual, if you will. Now, Hal Elrod overcame a lot of tragedy, and he was in a major car accident. He was lucky that he even survived. I think he died like several times. He was on the scene. His heart stopped beating for like 6 minutes, and then even during the coma that he actually was in a coma for at least that whole next week. And his heart stopped several times during that time. He is lucky to be alive. He is a walking miracle. And he says if you do these 6 things, 6 practices every day before 8 a.m., it will transform your life, no matter what changes you want to make in your life. Whether you want to just be a happier person, whether you have certain goals in your life. And he worked on these with his clients over the course of several years and refined them. And they have been proven. These are six practices. There's science that backs up every single one of these, and their positive effect that they have on us. And if you're able to do all 6 in the morning, it's best to do it then. And I think there's so many of us that probably do some of these without even thinking because they're just part of our life. Now, this video is in collaboration with my friend Michelle over at Life Adventures and Keto. I want to thank you, Michelle, for putting out the invitation to collaborate with this morning routine. Now, Michelle has been doing the morning routine, and so have I, and we decided to do a review video today, and she's going to be sharing her experience with it, and I'm sharing mine. So once you watch my video, I hope that you will go over and check out her channel. Now, Michelle shares her life adventures as she's going through her keto journey. Now, I am not keto, so if you are coming over from her channel, I want to welcome you, and I want to let you know I'm not keto. I do low carb, but I don't do keto. But her and I have other things that we do in common. We talk about our life. We talk about our journey as we navigate this life. She's an empty nester too, I think, but she's got grandkids. I don't. Now, Michelle, she shares vlogs. She shares some fishing and hunting and outdoor stuff, some recipes. She does sometimes she'll do some yoga and a little bit of she'll talk about her fitness journey and things like that. It seems we do have a lot in common. So I hope that you will go over and say hi to her. And again, if you are coming over from her channel, welcome. So now let's get into the Miracle Morning Routine. I want to first explain to you a little bit about my backstory and why I really have, this is important work for me. I have been doing it for a while, and partly because I had a life-changing sort of experience for myself. Nothing like what the author of The Miracle Morning went through at all. Not at all. But we're each on our own path, and I made some changes. And I can honestly say that the Miracle Morning Routine has given me a sense of, it's given me myself back. It's helped me to sort of recover from my own challenge, my own health crisis, as really small as it seems in comparison. So I want to share that with you, and then we'll go into the 6 components of the Miracle Morning practice. I do a lot of reading and a lot of self-development and personal development, effectiveness, because I want to be my best. I've always had quite a few side gigs going on. I've had a business. I've slowed down my life quite a bit since the kids moved out, and I made some big decisions about my business and about what I wanted to do with my self-care. I was very motivated, very motivated. Hal Elrod talks about that too. You want to be motivated. I had a lot of motivation, a sense of urgency, because my doctor actually, 2 healthcare professionals have said to me, you are going to stroke out if you don't make changes. So I have really taken this to heart. As much as I believed in the Miracle Morning Routine before, I even more so now. I know the importance of taking time for ourselves. Now, I ought to know better. I was a self-care coach, personal development coach, for over 2 decades. That's what I did. And until I burned out, I was taking care of everybody else except for me. I was doing the best I could. I had good intentions. I wanted the best for the people around me. It makes me happy when people are happy. But not when you become a people pleaser. And I think I'm a very empathic person, and I do believe a lot of empathic people become people pleasers. Because if it feels good. When people feel good around you, you feel good as an empath. And when people are stressed around you and have problems, it doesn't feel so good. Now, when my kids moved out of the house and I became an empty nester, I had to sort of start all over with my routine. When the kids were home, my life looked very different. I got up in the morning, I got them off to school, even as they got older. In high school and college, I always got up with my kids. My son went to college in a different city, so but with my daughter, she was at home for a while she was going to college. I woke up in the morning. I always had breakfast with them. That was just something that was important to me. I wanted to start my day with my kids. That was easy. The hard part is once they flew the nest and I had to get up to an empty house. Yes, John was here, my husband. I got him off to work. I still get up with him, even though he always says, "You don't need to get up with me." Honestly, I was looking forward to sleeping in. You know, I used to get up early, get them off to school, and then I would take care of my business. I worked for 5 doctors at one time. I've done several different things. I have international clients, or I used to. I had to be on phone calls sometimes at ridiculous times in the morning. So it's not that I'm not a morning person. I didn't think I was. I would get up because I had to get up. I love the snooze button. I really did. I loved it. That 5 more minutes of sleeping. That was a joy. But I got up because I was doing it for other people. But when it came to showing up for me, that was a different story. That was really hard for me to wake up for myself. So after the kids moved out, I started to take that more seriously. Probably the first month or so, I did sleep in a little, and John got himself to work. I mean, he's always gotten himself to work. He's a grown adult, but I didn't get up with him. I'd get the coffee pot ready at night. He would go off to work. I enjoyed my sleeping in. But at some point, I wanted to create a life for myself that helped me to be more effective. Getting up to a quiet house after everybody has gone, it just didn't feel right to me. And then I also woke up feeling like I was behind. Like everybody else was off doing their life and I was behind. I mean, the kids weren't living here at the time. They had moved out, but they were up early going to work. John was off to work. I had retired my business, so for the first time in my entire life, I wasn't getting up to go to school or to go to work or to get on the phone with a client. It felt so empty. It really did. And I'd wake up and it's one of the reasons I started vlogging. Like there was a void in my life. And that's when I decided to take the Miracle Morning book out of my coaching toolbox, the one that I had been recommending to other people for so long, and really take it to heart. Now let's talk more about the Miracle Morning routine. Now the Miracle Morning book, it's really, in its simplest term, it does share Hal Elrod's experience, his life, and really sets that up. And I do encourage you to read his story because it is so inspirational. But it really is around the idea of waking up about an hour ahead of the time you normally would wake up, if you can, maybe 30, 40 minutes earlier, and spending that time developing yourself. Now, the 6 practices of the Miracle Morning routine, the letters, they're the acronym for SAVERS, SAVERS, and let's just go through them very quickly, starting with S. He calls them the life savers, and they really, really are. So S stands for silence, waking up in the morning and just experiencing a little bit of quiet. Don't turn on your TV immediately. Don't turn on your phone. It's really easy to just be drawn into that. But once you start that, it's hard to turn it off till the end of the day. So this is the perfect time. Maybe after the kids go to school, that kind of thing, and the house is quiet. You spend a little bit of time in silence. And I just want to point out, you can do these in any order. It doesn't matter. Just spending a minute or so in just that peaceful, kind of purposeful silence can make a difference. It'll settle down your nervous system, calm you. It does for me. Anytime, even during the day, throughout my day, if I'm feeling a little like harassed or just sort of adrenaline, like I feel that adrenaline kicking in from rushing or from too much caffeine, just take a few deep breaths and just be quiet. That's all it is. Now you can sit and meditate for 15 minutes if you like, if that's your practice. You can spend the time doing whatever helps you to reconnect with that sort of peaceful feeling, but you don't have to take a lot of time with this. 1 minute is really all it takes if you're just willing to sit in the quiet, in the silence. The second practice is the A in SAVOR, stands for affirmations. Now, affirmations is sort of like a statement or a proclamation, a declaration that you make that tells you or affirms for you your positive nature. That's harder than it sounds. For example, I am confident. I am powerful. One of my favorite affirmations is simply, I get better and better each day. That's something I heard a long time ago and it stuck with me. Every single day I'm getting better and better. And when it comes to affirmations, you want to be crystal clear about what you want and why you want it. Think about what you need to do and how can you affirm that. Now for me, I do use affirmations in the morning. I use them throughout my day. They really do help you sort of to reprogram or program or design the thoughts that you need to have and sort of channel those into a positive way. It's just too easy to, left to our own devices, to allow ourselves to just sort of, I call it badgering. I badger myself all day long, left to my own devices. So I have to sort of prop myself up throughout the day. Now, I am a person of faith. I use a lot of prayer. By the way, prayer, when you're waking up even in your silence, the silence portion of your routine, that can be prayer too. I did not say that earlier, but prayer is it's a big part of it in my own life. Now, visualization in the Miracle Morning routine is really powerful and it's actually fun. And you're really just closing your eyes, taking a few deep breaths, and you want to visualize what you want. Use your imagination. Imagine just mentally creating the mental picture of it in your mind. And it's not about engaging your logical mind. What do you want? Let your heart kind of speak to you. Have fun with it. Get creative. It really is a powerful tool. The E in SAVORs is exercise. And I exercise regularly. I don't always exercise before 8 a.m., but it gets me moving. Exercise helps me to clear my mind. It gives me energy for the day. It helps me to wake up almost as well as coffee. And there's just so many benefits to exercise. And if you do some form of exercise early on in the day, then you're not constantly going, oh, I still have to exercise. Oh, I still have to exercise. So sometimes I don't exercise until the afternoon. If I know I have a lifting session I want to do, strength training in the gym, I might put that off till later. If it's super cold outside, I might get on the treadmill for a few minutes, like about 20 minutes in the morning, and then do my strength training later. I do some form of exercise every day. I just don't always do it before 8 a.m. Now the next practice is reading. The R is for reading. Maybe 10-15 minutes a day, read something to do with personal development, something that's inspiring. Now this could be scripture for you. This could be maybe poetry, something that inspires you. It could be a personal development book, depending on what phase of life you're in. But you are never too old to continue to learn and to grow. And I think personally, I learn more and more from reading about other people and their perspective and from their own experience. That's really where I feel like I get most of my inspiration. And so that's the sort of thing I like to read. But really, just 10 to 15 minutes a day, you can get your reading done. Now, the sixth practice is scribing, another word for journaling. It's just scribing, journaling. And I'm a journaler. I've been a journaler, blah, 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 blah. I have been journaling since I was 11, so a long time. So this is like a no-brainer for me. Reading, exercising, journaling, no-brainer for me. Most of these things I've been doing naturally for years. And journaling is something I do anyway. But you can journal. There's so many different ways that you can do this. I do morning pages because I'm also, a big fan of the artist way, where you write 3 pages of stream of consciousness writing first thing in the morning. It's a powerful practice, but you don't have to do it that way. Maybe when you wake up, you have ideas. You just want to document some ideas that you might have, maybe some insights into things that you're doing or learning, some breakthroughs. What about some things that you're proud of? Things like that. Journal. So I like to call these, I will write things in my journal. Sometimes I call them evidence journals. Just evidence that I'm connected. I'll write little insights I get throughout my day. You don't have to be like a huge fan of journaling like I am. Simply write your ideas. Just write it down. Just in the morning, just spend a few minutes writing some insights down. You might be surprised if you've never journaled and you start doing this. You might kind of develop a habit, a good habit. Now you can write in a regular paper journal with a paper and pen. You can do a digital journal. Whatever works for you. But I know that I do some form of these activities throughout my day, almost every single day. This has helped me so much, especially as I have transitioned to being an empty nester and gone through so many changes in the last few years. While I used to find it difficult to wake up in the morning to an empty house, I feel like now I wake up, I look forward to the mornings. This little routine has helped me to feel like I'm on solid ground. One of my favorite parts of the morning is getting up and journaling. I absolutely love my journaling time. It's where I get a lot of my ideas. It helps me to actually be able to do some of the other creative endeavors that I'm able to do right now because I am an empty nester. It has been so powerful. I highly recommend the Miracle Morning Routine. And if you are a practitioner already of the Miracle Morning Routine, I would love to hear from you in the comments. And if you haven't tried it, think about it. Give it a try. I will link the book, and I'm going to link this video down below as well. It's sort of a keynote speech that Hal Elrod did a couple of years ago, and it's actually really good, and it will give you a good sense of who he is and a glimpse of the book. I feel like I don't do it justice when I speak of it. Watch that video and go over and watch Michelle at Life Adventures and Keto. Tell her I said hi, and I hope that you will subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and come back and see me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're doing well. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.